It's time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online for all your web design needs at sonicwebstudios.com. The Mike Wagner Show brings you interesting people doing interesting things all across the globe. Now, let's get started on the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Evan Fine of the Senior Reserve Group. When you start thinking about retirement, who are you going to call about Medicare? Why call the best? Evan Fine of Senior Reserve Group, specializing in Medicare, health, and long-term care insurance. Evan can be reached at 1-800-650-9357. That's 1-800-650-9357. Or email to evanfine at seniorreservegroup.com. Evan is licensed in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, South Carolina, and Florida. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and also watch the interview on YouTube as well. We are here with very fine people, two of them actually from California. They are in the movie which will be coming out today, which is March the 5th, the one-year anniversary of the release of Chasing Bullitt. It's the a sequel to the Steve McQueen version, and we're not taking calls, by the way, folks. So it is a very classic edition starring Andre Brooks and Augie Duke, and this is going to be a release, and it's actually a sequel to the classic movie Bullitt from 1968 with the legendary chase scenes and everything else. And we're also here to talk about their careers, how they got started, and some very unique stories on these two great people I'm going to have on. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here are the stars of Chasing Bullitt, Andre Brooks and Augie Duke. Andre, Augie, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hello, Augie.
That was impressive, Mike. That was super impressive. I'm impressed by you. I just fell in love with you right then and there. The fact that you can come up with all those words in 60 seconds and not take a breath, that is the most impressive thing.
Oh, I thank you. Were you guys timing me on this one here?
That's a skill.
It's a skill, man. I can't do that. Let me tell you. That was a skill itself.
Well, you know what? That's why you guys are in Hollywood, and here I am behind the mic. So that's one of the things you guys have as well too. And of course, Andre and Augie are both starring in the movie Chasing Bullitt, to be released today on DVD, which is March 5th. And a year ago to this day, it was released in the movie theaters. And of course, there's a big reason behind the one-year release. And of course, we talk about some of the movies you've been in as well too. And first of all, let's just get the ball rolling here. Tell us a little bit more about the movie.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, like you said, it's going to be it's coming out today on several different multimedia digital platforms: iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Vudu, Microsoft. What else? There's Comcast.
Digital stores.
There you go. Spectrum, Verizon, Dish, AT&T, Redbox. You name it. It's going to be there.
And it's going to be there. And how about Netflix and Hulu? Is that going to be out too, or?
I think that'll be down the road.
It's not on Netflix yet, but it's on Hulu, Amazon, I believe.
Oh, it will be. Okay. All right. And then this is for where it can be rented and it can be bought. And did they say how much, or is it where it all depends on who you hook up with?
I guess we haven't been given that information yet. We don't have copies ourselves yet. It's a big secret.
Ah, I see. Ancient Chinese secret. Okay. So
this is Steve McQueen we're talking about here. This is the king of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. And of course, tell us a little bit more about the movie as well, too. Just give us a brief summary before we get to some interesting stories of yours.
Yeah, Andre, I'm going to give that to you, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit.
Let's see. Well, this movie takes place in 1971 after Le Mans, the movie that he filmed in France. And he came back to L.A., and he's kind of at crossroads. His marriage is on the rocks. He's having trouble with his wife, Neil, played by Augie. And he's fed up with the movie industry. Things kind of fell apart over there in France, and there he's now trying to figure out what his next step is. Mm-hmm. And what he'd really like, what would really put a smile on his face, something he's always loved, is cars. He wants to get the car back that he drove in the movie Bullitt, the Bullitt Mustang. It's nicknamed. He wants to get that car back, mm-hmm. And his agent shows up.
Freddie Fields. Played by Dennis Hall.
Yeah, Dennis, who actually had a nice little part in Green Book, Best Picture.
He did.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, so cool.
Anyway, Dennis and myself, we have this scene together where we're trying to figure out the next move, and Dennis wants him to keep working, and Steve wants nothing to do with it. Steve decides, listen, why don't you do me a favor? You find that car for me, and then maybe I'll get working again. You know, that's kind of how things play out. Mm-hmm. And so he wants to get the car. That's hence the words, the title of the film, Chasing Bullitt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you meet all these amazing characters. And Mom, we don't want to give too much away, right? But it's really cool.
The movie really takes place over the course of a day, with flashbacks and flash forwards of Steve's life and the turmoil going on within it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
me and Andre only had 2 days to shoot together. It's crazy. We had to kind of put all of our emotions and long scenes into 2 days. And the scene, unfortunately, one of our big scenes was a lot of turmoil we had to deal with. But we got there. It was hard, but we got there. Because I'm so proud of Andre. And Andre literally, I just have to say this right now, looks so much like Steve McQueen. It's kind of scary.
Well, that's what I was told as well too. And how did it feel playing Steve McQueen in the movie, Andre?
Well, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. You know, every actor wants to get the big role where they get to be the main character in a movie, and get to show all these different emotions. You know, we all want that challenge, but then on top of that, to play an iconic guy like Steve McQueen, well, that just put it over. You know,
it was meant to be, Andre. You had to play him. If you didn't, this would have been a terrible thing. You have to play him, and you did.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what's ironic. Joe, our director, Joe Eddy, he reached out to me. We had worked together before on the movie Coyote. That's where I first met Augie, actually. Mm-hmm. The two of us had worked on this movie Coyote with Joe Eddy, writer and director. And anyway, we flash forward to a year or two later, and Joe had another movie idea, and he got together with me. We sat down for lunch, and it was 2 words: Steve McQueen.
Oh my gosh!
And a big smile across my face right away. You know, since I was a teenager, people were telling me I looked like the guy, but and they would say, you know, if they ever do a Steve McQueen movie, you should be in it. But I didn't think of mentioning this to Joe when Joe was trying to think of a new movie idea. But he brought it up with me, and I think that's what made it even more special. You know, it came from him. And
you even have a vintage car too. You even have one of. Don't you have a similar car to Steve McQueen as well now?
Yeah, I've got. Well, the Bullitt Mustang was a '68 Mustang 390 GT fastback. I got a 1967, which looks almost the same. It's the exact same body style, but it's a different color and a smaller engine, obviously. But and that was part of the deal. When Joe reached out to me, he said, "Listen, if we make this, I'm going to need to use your car. We're going to need to use your car in the movie." And I said, "Oh, that's fine with me. I get to play Steve McQueen." You know, I was so pumped up, so excited. And he said, and this was he told me this in early January, and I said to him, okay, that sounds really good. And he said, well, I've got all these ideas in my head. I got to put them down on paper now. So leave me alone for the next few weeks. Don't be bugging me with questions. And my birthday rolls around mid-February, so I reached out to him in early February and I said, how's that screenplay coming along? You know, I sent him a little note. How's that screenplay coming along? And he didn't say anything. I said, my birthday's on the 15th. It'd be really nice to see that. And again, he didn't respond. But sure enough, on the 15th, I was out. It was a Tuesday, and I was at an audition that morning. I came home in the afternoon, and there it was in my inbox. And I sat down and I read it, and I cried, and I laughed, and I cheered. There were all sorts of emotions going through as I read this thing. And then I reread it again with my girlfriend, who came over because she was coming to take me out for dinner for my birthday.
Oh, nice.
And I said, no, hang on. You got to sit down and read this with me. Okay, you read all the other parts, and I'll read the Steve McQueen part. And we sat there laughing and sharing and getting, it's a really, really cool story that is based probably 90% on factual events that take place in Steve's life at this time. Steve and Neil both.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that was a really good birthday present. It's like, happy birthday, you get to play Steve McQueen.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Right?
And of course, if you were to buy the 68 Mustang GT as well, too, how much do you think it would have been going for these days? How much would it be worth?
Oh, a car like that is, well, they did discover the actual Mustang, Bullitt Mustang they used in the movie. It was discovered about a year ago from a private owner, and I think the thing is worth millions because it was Steve McQueen's car. It was the movie car.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And, but you could find one. You could find one on eBay or through a private collector. Probably for a couple of $100,000, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
The one I have is not worth that, but it's special to me, and it's even more special now because it played a part. It had a little part in the movie.
It was a big part in the movie. It was like one of the leads in the movie. I have to say, it might have won me. No, it was really cool.
Oh, that's amazing too. And Augie, you also had a very special part in it too. So tell us all about that and compared to the original.
It was, wow. I was flabbergasted. It was such an honor to play her. She's still alive. She's still so vibrant. The craziest thing happened while we were about to shoot this. I find out that we have the same hair salon girl. Our hair cutter is the same hair cutter. So I found that kind of crazy. But
wow.
I never got to meet her. But I studied her and I watched her and Steve doing these films together and she did these dance scenes and their love for each other is, I wish I had that. I think everyone wishes they had that. You know what I mean? To become her, we had to. For me, a big part of becoming a character is everything. It's hair, it's wardrobe, it's all that. It's a big part of becoming a character, obviously. Mm-hmm. And me and Joe Eddie went, and I went to look for wigs for her because my hair wasn't short at the time. It's actually super short now, but. We found this wig and we put it on, and I literally was like, "Oh my God, I really do look like her. This is unbelievable." This is a really
It was
crazy
scary.
thing.
I was blown
scary.
away when I saw it.
Scary, right? Yeah, Andre, we sent you a picture, right? We check this out. I think I just became Neil for a second, and I hope I do her justice. She's a really magical person. She has a huge history and a huge story, and she's from the Philippines, and she came here, and she's super independent, and then she was the big star when they first met. Steve was the struggling actor. He was the star. But it was love at first sight between the two, and they just jumped in with both feet. I think they were married 3-4 months later. 4 months, yeah, literally 4 months later, yeah. And then they had a beautiful love for each other, and then it started getting a little rocky. Yeah,
well, and that's where our movie picks up, where they're now getting to a difficult time in their marriage. I read a quote from Neil. Adams once. She said, when he was good, he was adorable, and when he was bad, he was a pain in the ass. And I get it, I get it.